Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Today I have a book review, a horror book review. This is of Susan Hill's The Woman in Black. Now this was published in 1983 and I was in shock when I heard that. I thought this was like a classic book for some reason, and when you're reading it, it feels very like Dickensian. I felt very Jekyll and Hyde vibes, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I felt all those vibes, so I was actually shocked that it's that kind of recent a book. So 1983, this was published, very successful. It's got turned into like a play and people do this for GCSEs and love it. I'm going to tell you what it's about, then I'm going to give you my full opinions. So this is about a man. It starts off and he's with his family and he's got stepchildren and they're all telling like stories of ghosts and hauntings, and then they say to him, it's your turn, and he completely overreacts, runs out the house and then says to us, the reader, I was once haunted in real life. Like they're all having fun and making these stories up, but I have witnessed a real ghost. And the book is him retelling you what happened when he was a young man and about the haunting. So when he was a young man, he's never told anyone this story. This is the first time it's ever been written around. There's a lot of talking to you, the reader, like, I've never uttered these words, and then like 10 pages later, I've never said such a thing to anyone. He's kept it a secret because it's really haunted his whole soul and life. So when he was a like 20-year-old man, he was working in a solicitor's, and the solicitor sent him off to a lady's house who had died to find her will. Now this woman had no family, no friends, even though she lived in quite like a close-knit community, no one would go near her, and so they couldn't find her will in any kind of way. And he says to him, go to the house, look for all her papers, find the will, bring it back. It's very simple what he's supposed to do. As soon as he gets to the house, he knows it's untouched, and she has a lot of paper that's just rubbish that she's kept over the years. It's very kind of like neglected, but it's a very nice house at the same time, so everything's very nice within it, but it's all a bit neglected. So he realises it's going to be a big job going through this, and then he has to go to the old lady's funeral as well, and he sees the woman in black, makes her first appearance in the book, and everyone's very scared of this woman. So he's trying to talk to the locals. He's like, oh, who is that woman? And they're like shuddering in fear because she was a ghost. Okay, she was the ghost, Arthur, stop asking people. So he keeps on asking and everyone's trying to like back away, so you get this real sense of like they are horrified that he now knows their secret of like the ghost, and no one wants to speak about it at all. He's supposed to be staying at like a tavern, and he keeps going to the house to look for the papers and just says, do you know what, I'm going to stay in the house. I'm just going to live there for a little while so I can search for her papers, I can get it done quicker. And everyone says to him, do not stay in that house, stay at the tavern. And he goes, well, why can't I stay in the house? And no one wants to talk about the woman in black, no one wants to talk about the haunting. So they're just like, we can't tell you why, just don't stay. He doesn't listen, he decides to stay at the house and he's haunted. And that's the book. You only really find out the woman in black and her story and why she's haunting him at the very, very end of the book. The majority of it is him being haunted. Now, I make notes when I read books, and I've like made notes here. And my note I said was, the whole book is Arthur Kipp pissing about in the house at Marsh being haunted. That's very true, but this is amazingly written. Nothing really happens. There's a lot of repetitions of scenes. So he's haunted and you're like, oh wow, he's haunted again. And then there's a locked room in the house and you know something's going to happen with that. And there's kind of foreshadowing that something's going to happen. And then it does happen. And then it happens again. And then there's like another haunting in the room. So it's very repetitive in its style. I did think this was good though. I really enjoyed this, even though I feel like in the end it kind of lost its way and it was a little bit too much of a haunting for me, and I feel like this could have been a short story rather than a novella, even though I think it should have been shorter. Even though I got like a little bit bored in the middle and thought the haunting was a bit repetitive, this is still an amazing book. That's how good it is, because the writing is genuinely creepy. I was creeped out. I read a lot of best-selling horror. I read The Exorcist, Amityville Horror, the Hannibal Lecter series. They don't freak me out. They don't do anything for me. This did. This sent chills up my spine. I really enjoyed this. If you like horror, if you want to be scared, I think this is great for coming up to like the Christmas time with the darker nights in England. This is a perfect book for you. It's absolutely fantastic. So even though I had criticisms, I still think this is overall an amazing book. And I think when you found out who the woman in black was and her story, that was so tender and upsetting, and I wanted more on her story, to be honest. I think we could have done with less of him on the marsh running about, you know, getting haunted, and more about the woman's story and how she really felt about it. But I think it was good. I liked the layout that he was telling you something that happened in his past, and so it's continually like, I don't know how I'm going to write this down, or I'm shaking, so that added more suspense to the story. Absolutely fantastic. I want you all to read it. I've seen the play as well. I feel like the play though is a little bit jump scary, and within this the atmosphere and the eeriness really like sends through your whole body. It's a fantastic one. But with the play they're just like bang, loud bang, loud bang, and it's kind of not getting the point of the book, that this is all suspense driven. And this is all like the fog on the marsh, the slipperiness of the marsh, not just like something fell off the mantelpiece, oh dear. So I do like the play, but I feel like the book is 100 times better than the play. This is really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It gets a little bit dry in the middle, but once you get over that, it's fabulous. Go and read it. That's it. That's the end of this video. I hope you read this book. Tell me down below what you think of it. I actually tabbed a bit in it because I thought the writing was so beautiful, and it's just beautifully written, and the way she talks about like he's being haunted, but she's also likening it to life and the general picture of life and seasons, and I just thought it was so English. So English. Loved it. Read it, and I will see you again very soon for another video. What are the fairy lights? Mini pumpkins, because I love Halloween as well. Okay, I can't let go. I've still got a pumpkin there. I've got a pumpkin here. I can't let go of Halloween, but I still want Christmas. I mean, I don't even know what that is. I picked it up off the floor. It's like a alien pine cone. It could be like a hand, like, hello, hello, who are you?